Hey, you're hanging out in the Link Up Lounge. I'm Tiffany Mason.
And I'm Donna Ruppel. Around here, we believe success isn't just about what you know, it's about who you link up with. This is your lounge for turning one link into endless opportunities.
Donna, it blows my mind that the two of us have over 30 years of combined networking experience.
I know. We've built businesses, expanded networks, and created unstoppable momentum, all through the power of strategic connections.
AKA networking. And now we're here to guide you to do the same, starting today.
So let's dive in, connect, and start making moves you didn't even know were possible. Welcome back to the Link Up Lounge. I'm Donna Ruppel, your Nocatee real estate expert, and I'm here with my co-host, Tiffany Mason of Virtually You, the boutique podcast management agency.
This is your lounge for turning one link into endless opportunities. And today we're talking about the mindset behind meaningful networking, because strategy is great, but your mindset, that's the game changer.
The most successful networkers don't walk into rooms thinking, what can I get? They walk in asking, how can I contribute?
Yeah, when you shift your mindset from transactional to relational, everything changes. People trust you more, the opportunities start flowing without that hard sell. I don't know about you, Donna, but I know my guard instantly goes down when the person that I'm interacting with does like a little plot twist and they tried to help me. So it catches me off guard and I'm like, oh, this person's not out for themselves. It's like, oh, good, they don't want anything from me. So it's almost an instant trust. Like, you're not
Yeah.
going to be salesy and sleazy. Okay, yeah, I'm actually open to hearing what you have to say, or, like it just lets me let my guard down.
Yeah, exactly. And so today we're digging into the mindset that makes networking feel natural and authentic, which in turn makes it actually effective.
Right? You don't have to be the most extroverted person in the room. You just need to show up with curiosity, confidence, and clarity. And that's why Don and I are so invested in this podcast. I know me especially. I see people that are intimidated and I want to turn that around for them. Once you get people out of their shell, they can really shine. So I have a couple of ideas or a couple of ways for us to get out of the shell, show up with a little bit more confidence and clarity. Is to lead with curiosity. Instead of worrying about having a perfect pitch, think about asking great questions. People love talking about themselves. And when you're genuinely curious, it takes the pressure off you and makes the other person feel valued. And I know a lot of times, even in my podcast interviews, I'm just actually sincerely very curious about the person. Like, I'm very curious why they chose this song and what life experience they have that they're going to share with me. And so I think it's really true. And then the person that I'm interviewing will say like, oh, that really helped me let my guard down. You asked some really great questions, but it's because I'm interested in them,
Mm-hmm. It's like one of the things that I told my kids when they were like first starting to date was if they were nervous, the best thing to do is just ask questions about the other person,
Yes.
because people get more comfortable when they talk about themselves. And I remember, of course, my son, my oldest, him being like, what? But I'm like, try it and tell me, and he's like, you're right. Like whenever I get
Yeah.
nervous, I just ask a question about somebody else.
Well, and lots of times something comes up that you guys can connect on. So I think that that's why that's
Mm-hmm.
such an effective thing. So lead with being curious and just, what's the most exciting thing that you're working on right now? It goes a long way. So then the next thing is practice micro confidence. Confidence doesn't always roar. It can show up in small ways. Make eye contact, offer a firm but not crushing handshake, and practice one or two sentences about what you do. Power statement much?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you don't need a rehearsed speech, just a clear and calm way of saying who you are and how you help. I know that when we did that power statement exercise with our group, there's one person that I think of in our group that, always seemed to be a little bit nervous, even though we all kind of knew each other. And once we did the power statement, it seemed like she could really express herself and confidently, clearly say what she wanted to say about herself.
Mm-hmm.
And because she did it so many times, it doesn't feel like super rehearsed when she says it now. It feels very relaxing or very, I don't know. She just sounds confident when she's saying it. So I can only imagine how that's translating when she's going to other networking events now, that she's able
Mm-hmm.
to, confidently talk about herself. So even if she doesn't show up as the most confident person that day in that networking situation, she has that to lean back on.
Mm-hmm. I mean, nobody expects you to be confident all the time or to always be smooth and engaging. But when you're super nervous, I'm just going to say it is distracting, because all I think
Mhm.
is, oh, gosh, I
Yes.
feel for her. She's so nervous, and I'm
Yes.
not really listening to the message because I'm
Hmm.
focused on, oh, I just don't want you to be so nervous. I just feel for
Yes.
you.
Yes. Well, that's why I was saying, like, when I see those intimidating people, like, what can we do to help them to turn that around? That's what I
Mm-hmm.
want out of this podcast for everybody.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
And then the last thing is you just want to reframe the room. So remember, networking isn't about proving yourself. It's just about connecting. So instead of walking in thinking, oh, I need to impress, and like, oh, being all nervous and all these expectations you have on yourself, instead, just I'm here to try to meet one, maybe two people that I click with. That mind shift will really help you to take all that weight away of this pressure to impress and to prove who you are. And instead, it will help you to relax enough for you to just have your natural strengths come through.
Mm-hmm. And that's really how you can connect too, is when you kind of relax a little bit and just let your natural personality come through, then you're better able to actually find those people you click with. So networking does become easier when you stop trying to impress and you really just start trying to connect. It's also less nerve wracking. So you might be more likely to be less nervous and more confident if you think about it as connecting instead of impressing. I mean, the most successful networkers aren't the ones with the perfect pitch, like we talked about. They're the
Hmm.
ones that lead with curiosity. They listen more than they talk, and they focus on real relationships over rapid results. Kind of like we talked about in the episode we did on takers. You can sense those people. When all they want is the immediate sale, you're less likely to connect with them. They're only searching for rapid results. And so the connection is not going to be genuine, and
Well,
it's
and that
not.
guard goes up that I talked about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's not going to be a healthy relationship when somebody is seeking rapid results from a networking exchange. When you show up without an agenda, people feel that. You become somebody that they remember, somebody they trust, somebody they want to refer, and not because you sold yourself well, but because you made a real connection. And so that is so super important in networking. And I think it really can help minimize the nerves and
Hmm.
help you like really just be you.
Yeah, well, I think it's like keeping the main thing, right? The name of the game is make a connection, not come off as the biggest all-star in the room.
Right, right. Yes.
Okay, so best connections come from you being generous first. So sharing a resource, making an introduction, giving a genuine compliment. This is what fills my cup. Nothing makes me feel more proud than when somebody says, "Oh my gosh, you're so good at connecting," right? I would like to say I'm so good at connecting because that makes me feel good. Like I just made
Mm-hmm.
an impact on that person's business. Like, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I just love it. And the relationship should be, it's like any relationship, they should be reciprocal. One person has to give first, though. So if you give first, their guard goes down. And then you start to think of like, how can you repay the favor? It's the
Mm-hmm.
principle of reciprocity. Say that 5 times really fast, Donna. Reciprocity. Okay. Psychologists like Robert Cialdini have written about it in Influence. When somebody gives something of value, time, attention, or introduction, even a kind word, we naturally feel a pull to give something back. That is why starting with generosity is so powerful in networking. It shifts the interaction away from transactional to relational, which is what we keep saying. I mean, it's the common thread, you guys.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I mean, you guys are going to say, oh my gosh, didn't you say this in episode blah, blah, blah?
Yep,
Yes, we
every
probably
episode.
did. Yeah,
Yes.
we
Yes, every
probably did.
episode.
It is definitely the theme of successful networking. When your mindset is to add value, you naturally become somebody people want to refer and collaborate with. I mean, you also become somebody that people want to just know and connect with because they're like, oh, Tiffany's a connector. Like, you should meet her.
Yeah.
If you constantly are adding value, then people are drawn to you. Instead of leading with what you need, you show up looking for ways to support, connect, or contribute. And that stands out. It stands out in all kinds of ways. And it builds trust and credibility and goodwill without needing to pitch yourself at all. So it's all helping to grow that know, like, and trust factor that we talk about as well.
Isn't it kind of like my reputation precedes me? right? Like
Yes.
people already know that you're a giver, you're a connector, you have ideas that you would share with them, like it's great to have your reputation precede you in that manner.
Absolutely. And I know that we've said before, that Tiffany, you love being a connector, as do I. So when I can make a meaningful connection for two people, I get really excited. Like I
Mhm.
feel really good about it. I'm sure you do too. Like, oh, that was exciting. Like I hope
Does it
these two
feel
people
maybe like a
connect.
little parent and like you just gifted them something? Like I don't my love
You just
language is
helped your
not
kid
act.
make a friend at the
Yes,
playground.
that's
Yeah.
exactly how it feels.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Totally.
incredibly rewarding.
Yeah. And then aren't you
Oddly.
like, did you call them yet? Have you called them yet?
Yes.
Sometimes I wonder like,
Yes.
how'd it go? Are you guys friends? I mean, like, is this working? Like, you guys have
Yes.
some really awesome collaboration going on now? Like, I just want to know,
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah,
I agree.
totally.
I get almost more excited than I think the business owners.
Right? And then I just had a conversation with somebody
Mhm.
that I had connected them to somebody before, and we had this whole conversation. They didn't say anything about it. And I don't want to like check in on them. But at the end, I was
Yeah.
like, hey, I did pass your name to somebody. I thought you guys would be a good connection. And she was like, oh, really? So I was like, oh, so they haven't connected,
Yeah.
But I'm like, okay, yeah. So the next time I see the other person, I'll give her a gentle nudge of, yeah, I told her you'd be reaching out to her, kind of helps people
Mhm.
go, oh, okay. Because I mean, at the end of the day, like we've said, people remember how you made them feel.
Mhm.
So when opportunities come up, you're top of mind, not because you ask for it, not necessarily even because of what you offer or your service, but because you earned it. And people want to do that reciprocity. They want to pay you back.
Yeah, it's like we're saying, not every conversation needs to lead to a sale. In fact, most of your best leads will come from unexpected places over time. Goes back to value, sell idea. So, we're having a good interaction, not expecting anything. Through conversation, we have an idea and now we reach out and say, "Hey, do you want to, those kind of things."
Yeah. The key really is detaching yourself from the outcome. I mean, your job is to plant seeds.
Yeah.
Start the process of building a relationship. You don't go into the first day of elementary school and expect to have a friend by the time you come home. It's a process of building a relationship. So, you start the process of building that know, like, and trust, and it's going to take time. People don't trust you the second they meet you. It takes time to
Mhm.
build that.
Mhm.
So, networking, visibility, and referrals all grow over time. You've got to give it the time it needs and not try and force results, because then you come across as a taker, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Oh
you
yeah.
need to go, look for consistent, genuine connection. Like with our networking group, the Bond and Beyond Network, if you're in the St. Johns County area of Florida, look us up. But when people join our networking organization, we ask them to commit to the idea of at least 6 months because that's how long, it's really going to take to grow the know, like, and trust factor within the members of the group and really see the connections and the payoff. Myself as a real estate agent, if I went into a networking organization or a networking opportunity, right? Thinking that I'm going to get a referral to sell your home instantly, I mean, I would be nothing but disappointed every single
Oh
time
yeah.
I went to a networking thing. So,
Yeah.
you've really got to think about, and everybody agrees, like, oh, yeah, of course, you're a realtor. But you need to keep that mindset in place, even if you're selling something that, is less than $50 and anybody on the street could buy it. You've got to keep that in mind because I do
Wait,
think
you don't
that
have any houses for sale less than $50?
not currently in the
Okay.
inventory.
Okay.
Yeah, not in St. Johns County, Florida. But I think that the lower your price point on your service or your product is, I think the more apt you are to think about an instant win in a
Sure.
networking opportunity. And so, the larger your purchase is, when you get above $1,000, I think you realize it's more about proving the know, like, and trust, growing the know, like, and trust, creating the relationships, before you expect that. So I think that regardless of your price point, the most value in networking is going to be growing that know, like, and trust. Because when you release the need for instant payoff, I do think it really is freeing. And again, it helps you feel more comfortable at networking events, as well as more confident. And you're really allowing yourself to build relationships based on trust and not transactions. So playing the long game means, showing up, offering value, staying present even when there's no immediate return, asking questions, growing the connection. That's how people remember you. So that's how the know, like, and trust is built. And ultimately, that's why people are going to refer you and come to you when the timing is right, because you built something that lasts.
Yeah, it makes me think of when you first move to a new town and you want those relationships that have a little bit of history, but you're just not there yet because you just moved there.
Mm-hmm.
So if you kind of put it in that same mindset, like you're just trying to make friends, you're trying to make business friends,
Mm-hmm.
I think that kind of goes back to that reframing the room idea a little bit, but
Mm-hmm.
take the
Yeah.
pressure
And
off of it.
yeah, I have, kids that are in college. And so it's so
Mm,
funny because, a lot of these same things that you talk about your kids going to elementary school, or if you just moved and they're going to a new school, it's the same conversations with them
yeah.
when they're going into college. Cause you're like, you need to look approachable. You need to smile at people in the elevator. You need to talk to everybody that you see, introduce yourself, say hi, be approachable, be friendly. And it's not going to be the second somebody says hi to you in the elevator or on the floor of your dormitory hallway. It's going to take repeated efforts before you
Yeah.
guys actually start to make a friendship. So
Well,
you're
you
going to have
don't
to
like
ask
see
people to
somebody
do
on the elevator and go, okay, you want to go for a drink tonight? You see them on the elevator, you maybe compliment each other's shoes. Then you see each other on the elevator, you complain about class a little bit. Then you see each other
right?
at the elevator, something else. And then finally you're like, okay, I trust this person. I like this person. Let me see if they want to go grab a drink tonight or they want to go check out a sporting event or something. Same
Yes.
thing. Same
Yeah,
thing.
totally. Well, and my son, who just went to college and is a freshman, he really enjoys playing pickup basketball. Okay.
Ah,
Yeah, nothing formal, but he enjoys pickup basketball. And so when he was going to school, I was like, well, my oldest son told him to go to the courts
yeah.
all the time, because you're going to meet people that are like-minded, like to do the same
Mm-hmm.
kinds of
Mm-hmm.
things as you if you go repeatedly. And it's not going to be a
Right.
one-off and then you make a friend. So, he's been going all the time. And then, of course, as a worried mommy, I'm like, have you made any friends? Like, exchanged
Yeah.
numbers? He's like, nobody does that. It's through Snap. And so he does have a friend. I'm so excited. He
Oh,
met
that's
him
so
from playing
exciting.
pickup basketball because he went 75 times in the first 2 weeks of being there or something.
Well, I think it shows a good point that you don't need to chase every connection. So he met how many people and he probably didn't
Right.
hound all of them. He probably didn't connect on Snapchat with all of them. He probably didn't consider going and doing anything with all of them. I mean,
No.
those repeated interactions. And that's also why I love that we ask people to do the 6 month, expectation with us is like, it's that repeated interaction that you build that history, you build that know, you build that like, you build that trust. So
Mm-hmm.
you just need to show up.
Yeah, even within the networking group, there are certain people that you're going to click with
Yeah.
more than others. And some of those may be just because your businesses align
Yeah.
more readily. And some of them might just be personality based. And that's okay too, because then you're going to get even more creative on how your businesses can collaborate
Yes.
together. Yeah.
Yes. And I love someone that doesn't think like me. Like, let's really, hash out some really different ideas.
Mhm.
But, at the end of the day, you just need to show up with a clear message and a generous mindset.
Absolutely. Yes. And remember, one relationship is worth way more than 100 business cards. You can collect all the
Right.
business cards you want, but if you have not made a relationship connection, it is not going to be worth anything.
I feel like, have we said quantity over or quality over quantity? Isn't that something that we've also said multiple
Yes.
times?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yes.
Yes. Yes,
So if this
Tiffany,
is the
that's correct.
first episode that you've ever listened to of us, you've gotten all the themes in one. Now go back and listen to all the other episodes.
Well, we go into a lot more detail. So, you know. Okay, Donna, it is time to flip the switch to networking mode on. This week, go into your next event or call with just one intention: make a person feel seen. That's it. No pitch, no pressure, just presence. Because when you focus on real connections, the business part takes care of itself. Networking mode on.
All right, networking mode is officially on. If you're loving these tips and conversations, make sure you're subscribed so you never miss an episode. And hey, if you know someone who's looking to feel more successful when networking, send this their way. Let's keep building those powerful links together.
You've been hanging out in the Link Up Lounge, your lounge for turning one link into endless opportunities.
Now it's your turn. Go make a powerful link today.
Networking mode on.